Today I'm transforming this area into a fully functional farming village in a hardcore Minecraft, complete with cozy houses, farms, watchtowers and even a full wall to protect it all from intruders. By the end of the episode, this whole area will be completely transformed. And yeah, for today's episode I have a lot of work to do. I also took some time between the episodes to chop some spruce trees. I also found somewhere over there these oak trees and planted and growed some of them. And in today's episode I want to build a whole new area right over here. So I'm not exactly sure how big the area is gonna be, but I want to have some farms in the middle of the village and some of them on the outskirts, and probably also a dock around here and a bridge to this peninsula. And eventually I'm still gonna add the stuff all over the place so I can make like a whole inbuilt area. But for now I just wanna do this area with a kind of farming village, I guess. But even all those tree chopping I did before is not gonna be enough. I also need some oak and some birch, so let's get to it. I don't really say this very often in videos, but I noticed that only 1% of you are subscribed, so I would really appreciate it if you take your time and subscribe, and maybe even leave a like on the video if you enjoy what I do. Small things like this really help a new channel like mine. Okay, so I also did a little bit of terraforming around the area, and I think the best way to start the small town village is to build the town hall, and I was thinking the town hall could be like somewhere like behind center, and build the rest of the houses from that. And I'm gonna start collecting all the materials. Well, it seems that I'm already running low on deep slate, so let's gather some more. If you're wondering how I have the material list like in the corner, I'm using Litematica mod. Basically you can build everything like in a creative and get a schematic of it and just rebuild it in survival. That's what am I doing, a bit more time efficient, but still I'm doing a lot of planning in creative anyway. Oh, apparently you can't convert deep slate into any other blocks. Oh, yeah, I had silk touch on my pickaxe, so I'm gonna have to mine again with another pickaxe. I might be saved on a deep slate if I'm remembering right. There should be some in the chest, and yeah, there's a lot of it in the chest. I'm gonna take all of it with me now. Okay, and here are all the materials I'm going to need for the town hall. The town hall is done. I kind of always imagined building one town hall with a tower, so I just did it here. As a block palette, isn't that wow? It's just some stone with stone bricks, cobblestone as texture, and oak wood and stripped oak logs, and some spruce trimming around. I also did some balconies with these lecterns. I really liked how they look. Also another balcony here. The interior though, absolutely nothing done inside. Most likely I'm not gonna do the interior to any of the houses that I'm gonna build today, just because it's gonna take a lot of time anyway to build them. Would take even more to make the interiors. Probably someday I could live stream while doing the interior. And next I want to build 3 connected houses right here, and this is also gonna take quite a lot of materials, so let's gather all of them. And here are almost all the materials I'm going to need for the houses. I'm going to do a time lapse for each of them, and afterwards talk a little bit about the block palette I used. And this is one of the first houses made with birch. This side looks a bit odd, but all the houses are connected, so it's gonna look much better when I build the next one. And I went with birch for the first house. After that it's oak, and the third one is gonna be with spruce. The roof is just a simple one with stairs, and I went with a stone foundation with these copper grates as windows. I really like using those blocks as windows. I did for the town hall. I also did for the starter house. For more details, the second floor I added this flower pot. I'm gonna add some of the flowers later when I'm done with building, and I'm also gonna add some more details around the walls. And on the other side I only added 3 windows and some trapdoors as shutters. Okay, and now let's just go and build the second one. Okay, and the second house is also finished. Same as the other one. Here is gonna be a third one, that's why this side looks a bit off. And in the same style as the first house, I have some copper grades as windows and a stone foundation, also signs, as well as here to somehow break down the stone wall and transition to the second floor with the birch and the oak. I also added a lantern and a bigger window than on the first house, and some stairs for depth at the windows, some shutters. On the back is basically the same as the other one. So now let's build the third and the last house. Okay, and here's the last building done. I really love how all these 3 buildings turned. They are quite simple, but also at the same time detailed enough, and I kinda never build in a style like this with the houses sticking a bit out from each other, and I really like how it looks. Next, I collected some materials for the paths, starting with some mud, which I turned into packed mud using my wheat field. I also went to a nearby dark forest and collected some brown mushrooms. And now that a part of the path is done, let's spread some glow lichen here and there on the path, so it stops mobs from spawning, making the whole place a bit safer during nighttime. And let's add some more patches of flowers and grass, as well as some bushes around the area. And to go with the farming vibe, I made this bone meal machine. Most of the farmers will have a surplus of seeds, so here they can turn it into bone meal. Next I started to build some of the farms that are going to be inside the wall. I made 4 of them, and you know it by now. To cover the water sources, I added a deep slate slab, wall and a lantern on top to light up the area. I also added a spruce stream between each of the farms for more detail and to divide them properly. I enclosed the farms in a small wall made with stripped spruce logs and some flowering azalea leaves. After that I made a tiny sweetberry farm next to the crops, using coarse dirt and birch trapdoors for a pop of color. Next I dug up where the path is going to continue. Afterwards, I built a small wooden shed by the farms for the workers to store all the grains. Now I need to collect some more materials for a water tower, so all the people living here have a place to get water for them as well as for the farms. Next I started collecting materials for a smaller house that I wanted to build inside the walls. And here it is. I used mostly the same block palette as for the other houses. I added some copper grates as windows, also added a tough chimney to sell the cozy vibes. Next up I want to do a bit of terraforming on the sides of the village, so I have more space for a bigger wheat field. But before that I want to plant every crop in the small farms. So I went again to the near village to borrow every type of crops that I'm going to need to plant on my own farms. Already the village has started to shape into a really cozy farming area. Now that the area feels more alive, it's time to complete the path, and that's exactly what I did. This brought the whole area to the next level and connected all the buildings together perfectly. With the path completed, now is the perfect time to add more houses around the place. So let's collect some more materials. And I think all these materials will do the job. I went again for a simple house that blends with the other ones, but went with an L shape and added this overhanging in front of the entrance. The farming village can't be finished without a wall, but before that I also want to add some more ways of protecting the village from any possible pillagers. And here are all the materials I'm going to need for 2 of them. The towers are mainly made of spruce fences, and this place where the people can stay and look over the whole area. And one of the last buildings I still have to add to complete the whole farming village is a silo, so let's get to building it. For the silo I went with stripped spruce for the body and some oak for the roof, and also added these birch trapdoors for details and more color. Now one of the last things to do is to build the outer wall. But for that I'm going to need a lot of spruce wood, so let's chop some trees. I hope all this wood is going to be enough. As for the wall itself, I'm going to use stripped spruce with a slab on top, some flowering azalea leaves on the bottom, spruce fence gates and a spruce fence in the middle. Now let's build the whole wall. I also went with this kind of design for the gate. I think it looks quite interesting from the outside, although from the inside it looks a bit weird, but it's more important from the outside, I would say so. And I also added one there and another one on that side. I also went ahead and added some flowers in all of the flower pots. And now I want some other details to have around the place, and one of them that I've thought of, it would be sort of a cart, so the people around here can transport all the goods wherever they want easier. And let's start with adding some trapdoors like this, as well as on the other side. And in between of them some slabs, and finally trapdoors in the middle, and in the front some fence gates to look like where the horses would be. And I thought that a good idea would be to put some hay bales on the cart and maybe throw some of these leaves for a little bit of more aesthetic. And for the sitting area I'm gonna go with some slabs, or let me check how the stairs would look like. I think I like more the stairs, so I'm gonna go with the stairs. And oh, I can't place any of these, so it's gonna be hay bale again. And all around are gonna come some of the leather to be like a band. Actually here I could put like spruce trapdoors. Yeah, it looks much better. I think another cart I'm gonna build right here besides the farm and by the gate. Same as the other one, I'm gonna place some hay bales. And I guess for this one I'm gonna go just with some slabs for the sitting area. And another thing that would really fit the area would be some composters around the farm. Just like this, and some other things, especially like around the walls. I was thinking of some bigger flower pots like this, with a flowering azalea and some of the leaves. I really like how it looks, so let's add a little bit more of that. And to fill up some more gaps, I'm going to make a bit more of these kind of rocks around the place. And let's make some use of the bone meal machine and spread some more grass around the area. And one more thing I want to add are some of these barrels and chests spread around. And another thing I want to add are some small and cozy benches just like this. Already the place looks much better than it did before. And one other thing, I would like to add some custom trees around the outskirts of the village. I already placed some of the custom trees around and they're a bit subtle, but they still give the area a lot of details, vegetation. And now all that's left to do in this episode is to build the wheat fields, one right here and the other one on this side. And I finally finished the wheat farms. I wanted a different shape for that one, something like a triangle, and kind of works. And this one, I think I'm gonna extend it a bit more in the future. I also added some trees in the background, normal trees, besides the custom ones I already have made. And unfortunately I'm not gonna have enough time to make a bridge here, but I will do it at some point. Maybe even on a live stream, who knows. But for today, this is all I have time for. I really like how the whole village came together and how it looks. I'm also gonna bring some villagers here to live, especially after I mob proof everything. But that's going to have to wait for another time. As always, thank you for tuning in and I will see you in the next episode.